I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at the Ford getting the Player of the Year award. So this isn't a case of like, what? What? I'm not. So it's not something shocking where like I'm like, wait, how the hell did they vote for him? I don't know. I think it was a year where KDB won it. So because let's first represent the case for Foden, and then I'll talk about who I thought I could have voted for. And I think the issue with the timing of this award. So look, this has been Foden's best season. I feel this has really been his breakout season. Mahrez leaving, Gundogan leaving. He's now featured a lot more and has been given a greater role. Like before, he was a side chick, stroke, a side piece. Basically, he was an Instagram model for like the past few years. But they said he's been a wifey. So he's really entered into the wifey role, escaping that Instagram model role that he's had over the few years because of the talent that's been ahead of him and his age. So City have played well, and he's been one of City's best players. Has he been City's out-and-out best player? That's another conversation. Because Rodri would like to have a award, and you could even argue KDB would like to have an award as well. But look, he's been amazing in terms of just the goals he has scored, his creativity, how important he's been to the attack, and just looking at the ability of him. So now the question is, how can he now fit him into that England team? So there is no anger of me saying he doesn't deserve it, because this is a case where several people deserve the award, including Foden. So look, I mean, look, it's been his best season. He passed the eye test. He's a quality player, and this has been his best season. Put that to one side. This is player of the season, I suppose. They call it player of the year, but really it's player of the Premier League season. Why didn't you give it after the 38 games? You are assessing how well a player has done throughout the season. So if you're assessing how well they've done throughout the season, shouldn't you wait for the season to go through? Because you can say, oh, no, 35 games is enough. What if in the last 4 games, a player goes insane crazy? Because this is a case where Foden wasn't far ahead of everyone. I feel Foden, Odegaard, and Cole Palmer were pretty similar. So prior to the Brighton game, I was like, okay, this is probably between Odegaard and Foden, in my opinion, but I'd probably go for Odegaard. Then Cole Palmer scores that amazing headed goal, which for me I feel tips the scale. Because now after that Brighton game, I'm like, oh, hey, Cole Palmer. Now, what if Cole Palmer drops a 4 piece in the final game plus 2 assists? So Cole Palmer has a great argument. Because shouldn't we wait until after the 38 games to now see? Now, I would still, despite what Cole Palmer has done, I still think it's razor. As the West Wits at the end of the season, I would still go for Odegaard. Only just. But now, you see, when I said it before, I had it's Odegaard, Foden, Palmer. After what Palmer's goal in the 37 in the Brighton game, I now have it Odegaard, very close Palmer, very close Foden, because they are so close based on how well they've done. One game can tip the scales. This isn't like last season where Haaland was so out of this world, no one was close. So you could have given Haaland the award in week 35 because what he was doing was so extraordinary for his debut season. No one was close. But are we going to say that Foden has been light years ahead of Palmer and Odegaard? No, he hasn't been. And my thing is, you have to understand, this isn't. Say what the award is. Is this the award for the best player on the best team, or is this the award for the best player? If it's the award for the best player on the best team, okay, give it to Foden. Rodri has an argument, but yeah, give it to Foden. If it's for just the best player, Palmer has a great case, and the season isn't over. What if Palmer drops a 3 piece on the final day? Then we have to look at all the 38 games. This is not a 34 game season. It's not a 35 game season. It's not a 37 game season. It is a 38 game season. So, of all the 38 games, we have to now say who was the best player, not best player in the best team, best player over the 38 games. And if Palmer does something crazy on the 38th game, or Odegaard does something crazy in the 38th game, shouldn't that tip the scales in their favor? So I don't get that. But look, despite that, look, Foden, yeah, he deserves it. Like, he deserves you. Even if I would have given it to someone else, I'm not angry that Foden had it because he's been amazing this season. And he plays football the way I think football should be played. And people say, oh, you're so anti-English. Kane is a bomb that doesn't pass the eye test. I think Saka, I just think Saka is good, but he's overrated. Bro, I remember Foden in that England team that won I think it was the under 17 World Cup. And I remember watching him then I'm like, oh no, this guy is good. Because he reminds me of Joe Cole, a guy who England did really appreciate. So Foden is money. And I know that this guy is a quality player. All that needed to happen was that can he now take the lead as a main guy? And he has shown for City, I can be the main guy. But the key thing now for Foden is can he now replicate this on the international level? How can he fit in? Because I still believe that for Southgate prefers Saka in his team because I think Saka just works better for what Southgate does than what Foden does. But Foden just needs to figure out how can I adapt my game to be useful and effective for England. Because remember, the international game and the club game is different. But for the Ford, congrats, well done. And now, can you now take your game to the very next level and perhaps start knocking on the door to now be called world class and now being competing with the likes of a Musiala, Yamal, Pedri, Vets, and so on. Because I still feel like if the likes of Vets, Yamal, Musiala, Jude, they're just a cut above, but Foden ain't too far behind. Like the vid, hit subscribe, head over to the official website, and check out those other vids. Peace.